Hello and welcome back to Age of the Ring mod, or the Age of the Ring mod. Today we are finally showing off the final faction, which I wanted to show off weeks ago. Weeks? No, days ago. Videos ago I wanted to show this off. Unfortunately the video I was trying to record for some reason wasn't recording, and then it crashed. Well, I managed to find the file. Sometimes you just gotta have to be patient with time. And God, did I have to be patient. But today we're finally showing off Lothlorien, and it's a 2-on-2 today in the Stonewain Valley. For those that haven't already guessed, that this map is beautiful, very easy to fight 3 AI at once map. But I probably would never do it because it can be stressful after a while. Map. Now then, let's get my
It is time to build.
Goldenwood Garrison, or as better known to the masters who can't be bothered to say all that, barracks, to the front line near our ally because they're going to need it.
I'm ready.
So we're going to slowly building up our advance. I should probably be building more melon trees in the front line and more storehouses on the back line, because the melon trees have some special effects that make them useful when on the front line. For one, they now have the blessed waters, so once you've built it, a nice little paddling pool spawns out of nowhere, and this radius not only increases the archer range of the melon trees generously give, but they also count as a portable healing fountain. Well, whatever they're called. They're called something. More storehouses in the back.
Ready your tools. Building supplies coming.
So again, this is your barracks archery range, the lot. Except for the stables, we've got that later. But we start with Lothlorien Wardens and Lothlorien Archers. We all know what Lothlorien Archers are like, but the Lothlorien Wardens is something new, because we're the swordsmen. Because we don't start with any kind of swordsman. Yes, that can make us weaker in the early game, but that's the point. Elves need to be weaker somehow, and this is the only good way of making them weaker. Without literally stripping them of everything, and can't really do that, can you? What the? Okay, we're gonna have to start building a bit more.
We come to protect Middle Earth.
Or we're gonna have to do a good Leithio Philinn. So they're already getting Gundabad units out, an army of goblins, but with our ability Leithio Philinn, which is just a cheaper arrow volley that does exactly the same amount of damage, maybe less. I don't know, I haven't really counted. But we're going to have to build up on our allies' territory, some some tree flats, battle towers. They've all got the same name. We all know what they do. They just renamed everything for Lothlorien to make them sound more professional. I can't deny it works wonders, but Jesus, it's hard to remember everything.
We must protect the woods.
Got infantry onto the front line, because I'm very certain these benefits the melon tree give also benefit us, if I'm not mistaken.
Lothlorien archers ready for battle.
I say if, I could be.
Ready, we've stocked the storehouse. Go to the trees. I was just waiting my
By the
turn.
way, with all the resource buildings we've built in our half, and the many more we can still make,
Build up this land. Our fortress grows.
because we're going to have to protect our allies' front line. Otherwise, they're going to get overrun, and we'll lose before we can even begin. Because Lothlorien has a lot to go over. The heroes are very power focused, except for Galadriel. Galadriel's just OP. As you can guess, I'm the strongest hero of the faction. Yeah, the ring hero is good, but not as good as.
We've stocked the storehouse. Building supplies coming.
Not as good as
There is work to be
Galadriel.
done.
Nah. Frodo's good, but not as good as Galadriel.
There is much to do.
Let's build some more melon trees. Our ally doesn't need too much, because being an AI, you get your own benefits, in a way.
Keep your
So let's put our archers into the defense flat, and you'll see they're all just nicely positioned on top. Isn't that nice to look at?
Building materials.
Set up another
This
flat.
place is not fitting. Coming through. Watch for the enemy.
All I have to do is keep setting up defensive flats, and then we can start actually showing off stuff. Because the elves' greatest strength comes from their late game.
Our homes must be defended. Sing.
As you could probably guess. Thought I made more archers.
Go back to the pits that
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Oh, let's get some more anyway.
The banners have been woven.
So we can show off Rumel and Orphan, the two twins that the only two elves that are named that don't know English. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, I forgot how cute they look. I think I remember making them, but never actually showing them off properly. I feel a bit sad about that now.
Weapons ready.
Because they look so nice. But nice is a very broad term. They're obviously not nice. Just nice.
This is the way.
Now then, the banner carriers. Like most factions, once you get a banner carrier, you get to level 2, yada yada yada. But the elves have a little hidden bonus that most factions, I believe, or other factions don't get. Firstly, they get the heal. So once they're not doing anything, they just get to passively heal. And god damn, that is good. Yeah, do not mess with Lothlorien archers, especially when they're near a Malon tree, because then they just have almost unlimited. They have Merkwood archer range, and nobody messes with Merkwood archer range. I'll tell you that. No point making the Miracle Galadriel yet, because you have no idea what it does. I still have very little idea of how good it is as well. I mean, 1500 for what originally was just a healing well.
We must protect the woods.
You've been saying to go for something like that. If it's still like that, of course.
Building supplies weapons ready, elves.
And I'll tell you now, the Miracle Galadriel is very different to what it was in the original BFME 2.
Building materials.
But yeah, why not? Let's get it now, shall we? It doesn't matter where you put it, as long as it's safe and out of harm's way, because you don't want to waste 1500 just to have to make it again. Now the two twins that even in this game only speak Elvish. In other games they don't speak Elvish, they just sound like the original Haldir. So Rumil and Orphan both start with the ability Gwedhanar. And this means when they're near their other brothers, they give them increased damage and armor. Which is a nice little trait. So once all three of the brothers are together, because Haldir gives this buff as well, every brother gets plus 20% damage and plus 10% experience. Because these abilities do stack. So then, Rumil's first ability, being the Archer, is Malon's Shaft. Causes a target monster to flee after dealing a bit of damage with a choice shot. I could have said that a lot better, but too late for that now. Yeah, Orphan, at this tier, he gets Sylvan Rage. He gains increased damage and armor for a short duration, which is still pretty good. He's basically he's a cheaper Aragorn if you can get him to level 3. That's only if you can get him to level 3. It's not likely that's going to happen easily. Get some more Wardens. Don't want to show off anything else yet. I'll be showing off too much at once. And then finally, both characters get a final ability at level 6, the Sentinel of Nimrodel and the Warden of the Celebrants. Now this is the only difference really between them. Rumil's ability is a passive, and Orphan's is an active. So Rumil's ability increases the vision range of nearby friendly units and increases rate of fire for archers. So any archers near Rumil just get increased shooting potential. And then it just increases your vision range even further. Like the elves didn't already need that. And then Orphan is the Warden of the Celebrants. Him and nearby units gain resistance to knockback and increased armor. Because obviously a horse's charge does damage on its own, so that's what it means by resistance to knockback. Or it could just be they don't get trampled over. Or it could be both. Oh, it would be powerful if it was both. Either way, this stacks with leaderships and spells. Oh, we've amassed quite a bit now. We can actually start showing off more things. But first, the Mirror of Galadriel. For some reason has the Shield of Rohan symbol on it, but we never really care about that. So originally, the Mirror of Galadriel was a thing you can make many times over, and it was just your healing well, but they put that onto the Malon trees, for good reason. Because it now has these, things that are, things that were, and things that will be. So if we get both of these, things that will be increases the resource production of any Malon trees we have, but we must have the mirror to keep this benefit. Things that were decreases the cost of Amroth's Knights and the Nando Hirhafol, which are our two most elite units. The Nando Hirhafol, we've seen before, extremely powerful hero killers by any regard. They're just good all around units. They're not archers and swordsmen like the March Wardens, but that's the only reason they're not more, because otherwise they'd be busted like the Northern Elves that the elves originally got in BFM 2 Rise of the Witch King. And finally, things that are increased the production speed of archers, wardens, sentinels and March Wardens of Lothlorien. So these 4 units, not including the Sindar Pathstalkers or the Nando Hirhafol, because the Pathstalkers are more of a assassinating unit you only get 1 or 2 of, and the other units are kind of your en masse units. And seeing that en masse, let's start getting more of them. So we've now got thing that will be, so now our income production is increased massively. This does spread to our allies as well. Wait, I don't think it actually says anything about. Oh, it's too late now to show that off. Anyway, our heroic statue is a very big heroic statue. It's a statue of a very fabled elven individual. To tell you his full name, Amroth Amdirian. So he was the first ruler of Lorien. Now I'll tell you now, you do not want to mess with that. You do not want to mess with Amroth during his rule of Lorien. He would destroy you. But he later went off into into the land that was called Dol Amroth, and that's where he met Nimrodel. Now then, let's show off things that are.
Raise shields. Point your
Yep,
spears.
they summon that quickly.
Behold, a new Malon tree has grown.
So one more unit of Sentinels of Keren
The
Amroth.
sentinels of Keren Amroth will protect this land. Raise shields. Point your spears and prepare for war.
Now, and these Sentinels, like our Lorien Warden counterparts, but in fact no, unlike their Lorien Warden counterpart, they don't have the Elven cloaks.
The enemy skulks near our buildings.
And their formation is slightly different as well. Their porcupine formation is mobile,
We protect the Golden Wood.
unlike their
Watch for the enemy.
square formation.
Our spears are
They still get the heal when they've got the banner carries though. That level of OPness hasn't gone yet. Start getting other heroes. We want to show off everything as quickly as possible. From what I'm seeing, the elves are actually starting to win. Or my allies are actually starting to win. Well then, we want our units to die.
Our homes must be
Well, our
on the move.
wardens to die, because they're kind of... We've already seen them, pretty much. And there's already the better version in the Sentinels of Keren
Protect the
Amroth.
Golden Wood.
They're basically your starting unit. You can get a lot of them very cheaply, and they are very strong. Well, cheap for elves, not very cheap for any other unit. Or starting unit. So then, Idril. For those that haven't played Lord of the Rings Third Age for PS2, you've probably missed out your chance of finding it. Or if you already have it, I recommend you play through it. If you have already played through it, you'll probably realise by then Idril is a beast. She is not to be messed with.
By the light of Arendelle.
She is a very powerful spellcaster. And that is also shown in this game as well, with her Fluid Strike, which is a small AoE melee attack that does massive damage.
We must stand against
And her
the
Cleanse Shadow ability is a heal, which she's actually quite well known for. Whenever it draws around, expect no one to die. Whoa, it took too much to kill that dragon in my opinion. It wasn't even a dragon, it was just a drake. Jeez. Anyway, this also removes... It also grants immunity to fear and terror. Next she's got the Gift of Galadriel, which is a rather niche looking tree, which gives the Blessed Mists, which also debuffs your enemies, which is quite nice. And it nullifies their leadership, so it's basically a quick way of debuffing your enemies, but also posing as a threat. I show off the Sindar Pathstalkers with 1 unit, but then just get March Wardens, because they're so much better. I can't really use the Pathstalkers well, because it requires too much micromanaging. Anyway, Haldir. As I said with Ruma and Orphan, he starts with Gwed Hanar. Unlike in the original BFME2, he gets to switch between his sword and bow. In fact, he can do that in every version of wherever Haldir is in. He can always switch between his sword and bow. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be playing Haldir. Because he is meant to be that hybrid hero that can just do everything. And he kind of uses that with his March 1 of Lothlorien ability, which is quite interesting in my opinion. Because originally this was a power that can only be used with the custom hero wizards. A teleport, the March 1 of Lothlorien, guides allied units from one location on the battlefield to anywhere on the map. This was originally a level 7 power for the wizard, so you can imagine that the fact that Haldir gets this early, it can be powerful. It can be really powerful. And capture the Galathrym, nearby ally units get increased damage and armor, and he gets his Galathrym armor as well, which gives him increased armor instead of wearing his oh damn it! I ruined the joke. Either way, his last ability, Last Stand. He regains half his health and gains increased damage, but loses some armor to show that he's willing to die. Now, Celeborn. When I say there's some heroes that are OP, do not mess with Celeborn. That's me putting it nicely. Do not mess with Celeborn. His first ability, which is a stacking ability. So, like with the Great Goblin, and like with other heroes that have this kind of leadership ability. It starts off as a leadership ability that gives 100% fear resistance, increased speed to nearby friendly units, and causes fear to nearby enemy units. That's just good on its own. In fact, he has a fear. And that stacks over buffs. Celeborn is also accompanied by 3 Sentinels of the White Tree, the Silver Tree, when he gets at level 3. And when he gets to Species level 7, he gets to summon 3 Sentinels of the Silver Tree to guard an ally hero for a short time. So basically he is the guarding hero. He is the guardian of his people. Can't really say that any more blunt than that. He is the guardian, or he is the weaker of the 2 guardians of Caras Galadriel. By no regard at all is he weak. This just shows how strong he is. He also starts with a heal nearby friendly units. Unlike Athalos, this heals everything. Everything, I know, crazy, right? Who would think that this would be balanced? But still, nothing's truly balanced in this game. It's meant to be fun. That's why it's a mod. But it's also got some kind of balancing to keep things from going out of proportions when they shouldn't be.
We protect the Golden Wood.
I could probably use things that are again to help. Yeah. Oh yeah. A second thing. These are only the units we've been showing off from here. There's still 2 other places we can make units: the Entmoot and the Green Pasture, which is called the Golden Green Pasture because they might add in the Green Pasture for Enlargement or whatever the hell they're going to call it. Anyway, where were we? Back to Celeborn. There's level 4 ability. Temporarily becomes immune to damage and is resistant to knockback. seen this ability used once before on another hero. I can't remember where, but it is used and it is powerful. Galadriel just join the rest of them. We'll talk about you later. And he's also got the armaments of Doriath, because that's where he originates from. That's where he met Galadriel. So Celeborn wields his ancient armaments from Doriath, gaining a 50% armor increase, and Celeborn's attacks now deal magical damage. So all those ethereal units. Wow, howdy, level 5 already. Nice. Good on you. And then Wise Beyond Measure grants friendly units a great experience. So he's extremely good in the early game. When he starts getting to the late game, he's just more of a, I'm here, I heal you, I grant you experience. But Galadriel, when she hits level 10, unlike Celeborn, she becomes a beast. That's because she also starts at level 5. Her first ability, Foresight. Let's just have a look at what we're doing over here. So that's where our vision power comes in. Then her ability, her leadership ability, the Lady of Lothlorien, grants heroes increased experience and recharge times are decreased. So that's just good on its own. I mean, any hero you can't level up quickly enough, you can just do that now. And if you want powers that you want to come back quicker, like Celeborn's Words of Healing, look at that! Look at that! Thank goodness you can't put that on a automatic, otherwise that'd just be stupidly good with Galadriel. So basically, every 10, 15, 20 seconds, somewhere around that range, Celeborn can just heal again. It's ridiculous.
I have nothing greater to give than the gift.
And this also grants enemy heroes a reduction in damage, but it doesn't stack with other debuffs. It's just if there's no one else around, she can make heroes weaker. So then she's the Bearer of Nenya. All structures within the area of effect cannot produce, but also can't be dealt damage. It's basically snowbind. What this also does is a second leadership. All nearby friendly structures gain 150% armor. Did I mention Galadriel and Celeborn together makes an unstoppable army with almost unkillable buildings, or unbreakable buildings? No? Well, they do.
Weapons ready, elves.
No. I wish I could show off the Ents, but unfortunately, well, luckily my allies done that for me.
Must be defended.
Our spears are pledged to the Lord.
We'll get rid of these Pathstalkers so we can show off the other units. We also want to show off the Knights of Amroth. Yes, you can also get Treebeard. Now then, what you can get from the Goldenwood pasture are these units, the Scouts of Nimrodel. So yeah, you can just have an entire army of horse archers. And once you reach level 2, can then go into a toggle formation. The more you think about it, every unit, except for the Sentinels of Cairn Amroth, becomes stronger once they reach level 2. They can just do more.
Ready your swords. Bows up.
And they heal. So just a lot of good stuff, really. But then there's the Knights of Amroth and Dirion. And these can only be acquired once I get the power Amroth's Knights. Pathstalker's gone yet? God damn it. Well, just give a hint of what the Pathstalkers can do. Once they reach level 2, they have this ability, Shadow Strike. They become fully stealthed and increase damage for the duration. That's a strong on its own. Never mind the fact that once you've got every other hero buff next to them, they are literally your unnoticeable hero killers. And you've also got the Nando Here Have Fall, which I might not be able to show off. But they did originally cost 2,200. That's 540, no, 440 cut off their cost just by getting things that were. And the Knights of Amroth and Dirion, I don't remember how much they did cost originally, probably 800. Yeah, we're just going in now. So the last two abilities of Galadriel, the Light of Valinor. For a brief time, Galadriel is revealed in white light, spreading terror in the hearts of her enemies and becoming invulnerable. Another thing about invulnerable, yeah,
You would challenge me?
as if it weren't already strong enough. But then there's also her final power, the Storm Queen. She takes on the form of the Storm Queen and temporarily gains 100% base damage, armor, damage to structures, and her attacks become ranged attacks. So if you remember her from when she was talking about becoming treacherous to the sea and all that malarkey, well, it's basically that. That's when she becomes a Storm Queen. Or when she was fighting Sauron in
You cannot stand
These
against
lands
me.
no longer.
in Dol Guldur. That's just her becoming a god, basically. In place of a Dark Lord, you would have a queen, not dark but beautiful and terrible as the dawn, treacherous as the sea, stronger than the foundations of the earth. All shall love me and despair. Yeah, that thing. Probably my favourite quote. My favourite quote from Galadriel is that line. Well, is her when she's saying that. That's probably my favourite bits from Fellowship of the Ring. And there are a lot of bits that I enjoy from Fellowship of the Ring, I'll tell you that. Probably my favourite of the 3 films. Just because of... I know it's mainly storytelling, but...
We must stand
Jeez, they
against
did it well.
shadow.
Oh, another thing. Idril's clan shadow, I think I didn't already mention it, is it not just that you click and you heal, it's a click and you heal over time. So whenever Haldir jumps into everything, you may not have the original heal anymore. What you do have is about 50 other heals.
Fools. Let your spirits be strong.
Oh yeah, Haldir, go back onto your bow. You're just being annoying now.
Inherit on me your oratory. We protect the Golden Wood.
Oh, another thing, the Galafrim don't... Just to give you a quick update, the armour of the Galafrim doesn't start off with them in their armour. They start off in their cloaks, like... where they look like Galafrim March Wardens. Because, you know, they are. And then they actually look like the Galafrim that went to Helm's Deep. Oh, and the ring. If I already forgot to tell you about the ring... No, it's too late to try and go back now. So a quick look at Amroth's Knights. They can get shields, swords, and banners. The only unit in the faction that can get shields, because they're that kind of special unit. And oh, I didn't get shot in Nando Kielafol. Well, I'll just give a quick update on them. They have the ability to switch between sword and axe. They can give armor once they upgrade, and then they become nigh unstoppable killing machines once they reach level 7. I wish I could have showed off more, but again, this was just a quick overview, and I did enjoy it. It's a lot better than doing an hour video of a one-on-one versus Mordor, where you're constantly thinking you're saying things wrong, and you have to constantly look back and think, oh no, have I done something wrong? I'll make sure I give a proper overview of everything in the future. I'm not guaranteeing it'll be the next Age of the Ring video, because by the time I actually have the bottle to actually show it all, I'll probably have showed it all off in just siege battles, because I will be doing a lot of different siege battles. I can guarantee you that now. They won't be lore appropriate, because in some areas like Khan Doom you can't have Angmar. There's no Angmar anymore. Imladris isn't a faction yet, but it's coming out soon, as what I believe I've been told. Well, what the mod page shows. What else? Oh yeah, I hope you all enjoy. No, I can't think of anything more to say other than what I've already said. It was just another quick overview, and I hope you all enjoyed. More will be out in the future, but I think I will be going probably 2 Total War videos, 1 Age of the Ring video, because I want to try and get more of the Lothlorien Total War campaign near its conclusion, so I can possibly start a new Total War campaign, or wait for when the next update comes up and then do another campaign starting from there. But obviously, Age of the Ring videos are still going to be pumped out, but more Total War videos will be coming out regularly in the schedule. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. I've dragged this on too long, and farewell.